Dude, we're live. Hey guys, welcome to episode 27 of the Drag and Drive show presented by Summit Racing for August 23rd, 2023. If you guys are new here, my name is Mike Narks and I do a lot of stuff for Drag and Drive. Drag and Drive Addiction mainly. We run dragandrive.com and most of the stuff you see on Drag and Drive Addiction page is posted by me, but y'all, my co-host, Mr. Eric White, has been very, very busy, and we're going to go over a lot of that stuff tonight. Eric, introduce yourself, and then let's get to this, man. We got a big show.
I am Eric White. I am obviously your co host for the Drag and Drive show and Drag and Drive News. I run my own channel, 815 LSX Swaps, and I think I'm going to start saying I'm a photographer now as well.
Dude, I'm excited. We're going to talk about that here in just a minute. Let's get this show kicked off. Guys, I'm here with Dave Teresi, Mr. Energy.
Oh, yeah, I'm psyched to be here. Thanks for having me. And I'm
Oh, we're looking this for a 6 something. That's
Excited you're here. It's going to be a ton of fun. Great weather.
What's going on, guys? Thank you so much for having me.
I'm really excited about this right here. Dude, I'm ready.
Yes, sir.
I'm ready. This is going to be a fun show. We have a new format that we're using to bring you guys pictures and stuff of what we're talking about. I think that's going to like level up our stuff because it's going to be a lot crisper for the pictures and we're not having to run a secondary screen in behind everything. So, like I said, we're going to talk about event stuff this time. We're going to talk about nostalgia nights. We're going to talk about the long list of events that you and I are attending to finish it to round out the year. And we're going to talk about nostalgia nights that you were at and how you took probably 1,000 photos and where people can find them and all that kind of stuff. Mr. Jan Haas, hello, sir. How are you? Good to see you in here, guys. Appreciate everybody. I just want to start the show by saying thank you. We've had a huge week on all of our socials. Videos are popping off, posts are popping off. The Facebook group is growing. We're almost at 13,000 people on that. We'll go over all those numbers here in just a little bit, probably towards the end of the show. We don't have a guest tonight because we are ramping up for Drag Week. So I've got some research I'm doing in the background. I've actually messaged a few more people to see if they can be on next week. We may actually have 2 or 3 people on at one time to talk about Drag Week and how that can change everything with just in the whole group. Leave the Facebook user up there, guys. To This is a person that is in the Drag and Drive Addiction Facebook group. So if you scroll down to the bottom of the description on the video, you can give StreamYard permission to use your name in this. I don't know why, but you have to do it every time. It sucks. But hey, when you have a software that allows us to go live on 8 different channels at one time, we're going to take whatever we can get. Okay. So thank you to everybody. Thank you to the almost 13,000 people in the Facebook group, dude. I mean, that's crazy. That's crazy. Danny Fatka. Hi, buddy. How are you? It's been great messaging back and forth with you this week. Okay. Let's get down to it. The first bit of business I talked about last week was that we are going to do an issue recap here for Sick the Mag. Guys, issue 17 and 18 is the largest one I've seen yet. Look at this. Am I choppy on your end?
No, not too bad.
Okay. So I've obviously gone through our buddy Chris story. We talked about this last week, making the cover of this of issue 18, which is the summer 2023 for him and Phil Balmaceda's trip to Alaska Speed Week, y'all. That is so amazing. And then, of course, the other side is the dart built by Brian Havlick and Jesse Havlick at Hot Rods by Havlick. I don't know who took that picture, but it's a great one. Obviously, our buddy Chris Story, the man. But I want to cover one. you should probably subscribe to the magazine just because it is obviously helping the community. Sick the Mag has built a huge brand, and they're only getting larger. So lots of stuff in here. But my favorite article of this issue is our buddy Rich Pedraza with the barbecue guys. This article here is good. He's written it. It's I don't know. It's a great story about how the Drag and Drive community, Bad Tree Productions, thank you for stopping in here. Appreciate it. How the Drag and Drive community helped him live his dream, and now is I mean, I don't know. You just have to read the article, but a few things that popped out to me. He talks about his entire history of Drag and Drive and how many events he went on. Here's one thing that's crazy. He's actually won two gear vendors from Rick Johnson. He ended up giving one back and having him draw again for somebody else. But I thought that was really cool. So his first event was Drag Week 2009. He goes over all the struggles they had on that event. And then he said something that, or I'm going to quote him for saying this, that days of miserable discomfort with awesome people, I was hooked. That I think that's the best way to sum up a week-long drag and drive event, especially drag week back in those days, because it was nothing for them to drive 1,200 miles on each one. So that's kind of cool. He talks about all of that. Says the first time they did one, they could only go 51 miles an hour because it's like 3,100 or 3,300 RPMs. So can you imagine 1,000 miles at 51 miles an hour?
Yeah.
That's pretty tough. That's pretty tough. So he talks about 10 years of that, how he's he talks about 10 years of building his sauce recipes and cooking skills within all of that. He decided to take it to the next level. That was where it really hit me. I love the business side of all of that stuff. So he decided to take it to the next level and start a Kickstarter program with the help of Adam Dory and Matt Frost. He was able, in their posts, he was able to get over the Kickstarter um, minimum and end up ordering the first really big batch of barbecue sauces and spices that he had been working on for, guys, at that point 10 years. So it's pretty awesome. And then how that springs forward to him, his car's not ready. He's like, I really want to go on sick week. So he reaches out to Tom and says, hey, I would like to drive the ice cream truck and hot dog truck and put my sauces on the hot dogs. And then how that basically grew from just driving the truck to now being, now being the Sick Barbecue brand. So I thought that was a really, really good article. I want to say congratulations to him. He is a great, great dude, and I really like him a whole lot. So he has earned every bit of success that he gets. So congratulations, Rich. Again, that was my favorite article in that magazine, and I had just gotten it the other day, and so I had not had a chance to read it before we came out here. But then also something special happened with you, right? With Sick the Mag stuff.
Yeah. So you want to go ahead and pull up that slide?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, right there. You talking about that one?
Yep. So Derek had reached out and said that he was writing an article on nostalgia nights and saw all the pictures that I had taken and wanted to know if he could use some of those in the article. So he did, and here is a handful of the photos that he used in the article. So I thought that was really cool. One, that he wrote an article about the event that I was just at, and then two, that he used some of the photos that I had taken. So
Yep.
I thought
Yep.
that was really cool.
Right. And I snagged those right from the sickthemagazine.com article. So that's really cool that he reached out and wanted to use your stuff, dude. That's always a big win for you, because like that helps just cement why you're there and all that. We're going to talk about all the events that we're going to be going to. I feel like I need to get a point and shoot camera as well as a video camera, but I don't know when I'd edit those pictures like you guys. So you photographers, man, I don't have that kind of time.
Yeah, I think I ended up doing, it was about 280 photos per day that got
That's
edited
awesome.
and posted. So it was
That's awesome.
probably about 400 per day that I was taking.
Right. And then folks can find those pictures on the Nostalgia Nights Facebook page, right?
Correct. Yep. And
Yep.
then I shared them all into the Drag and Drive Addiction group as well.
Perfect. And then, if you guys want to reach out to Eric and hire him, I'm sure he would love to attend more events. And the way to do that is to earn a little bit, because a lot of times we're we're trying to make this work so we can attend more. So, anyways, congratulations, dude. That's so awesome to have your pictures used on on something other than what you and I do every day, which is working here. So it's
Right.
cool to see somebody else recognize that. So congratulations on that.
Thank you.
All right. Well, dude, let's talk about event stuff that's coming up. I've only got 3 this week. Or Death Week is a go. They have
That's going to be wild.
this Saturday, 9 a.m., they are setting registration. 9 a.m. Eastern. Sorry, 9 a.m. Eastern. So I don't know what that is Pacific time. 6 a.m., 5 a.m., something like that. You'll be able to register for Death Week. I can't remember the exact number, but I think it's either 125 or 150 spots that they're gonna fill for that. So that's pretty awesome. I really wish I could go to that, but I'm going to explain where I'll be in a moment. So, Death Week, guys, if you want to do it, 2,000 miles, 10 days of drag and drive. You can see all the locations there: Grand Canyon, Pacific Coast Highway, Las Vegas Strip. I mean, the Sequoia National Park, Death Valley. There's all kinds of stuff. I think they're racing they're racing at all kinds of tracks all across the western part of the country. So that's pretty awesome. 2,000 miles is really going to stress a bunch of cars for
Yeah.
sure.
And they're
So,
going through a lot of cool places. So that's going to be fun to see the coverage of that.
oh man, I
Like
mm,
Las Vegas Strip with drag and drive cars and trailers.
oh,
Those get your
dude,
cameras out because those are going to be some
yeah,
good photos.
yeah, that's exactly right. Sign me up. 25 days until drag week, dude. That means I leave in 23. Like
Yep.
I'm getting a little anxious. I'm getting anxious to make the drive. I mean, it's like 14 hours one direction to drive out there, and I'm not flying because I'm gonna drive my own car. I'm not gonna ride with anybody this week because I'm going to try and grab so much content while I'm out there that we can start going through. So if everybody's noticed, I've been putting back been putting out videos from Drag Week 2022 while I'm putting together a huge video for that event. And I see the Speed Minion here saying, Race Cat friends, if you guys don't know and don't follow me on Facebook, every time I come home and sit down, my cat comes up and she takes a nap on me taking a nap. So we got 25 days until that. We got 25 days until Hot Rod Drag Week. Again, obviously love our friends Brian Acton and Jay Blanchard. That's why I featured them on this photo. I intend to do a daily countdown just to really freak a bunch of people out as we get closer so you guys can start seeing that. So that's going to be a daily post that you'll see coming up. One Guy's Garage Drag Weekend, 30 days for that group. This is actually Nathan Shaw's car here. This event, I think I'm going to be really excited about for you to attend because there's so many long time drag and drive racers that are hitting this event. And it's one of the oldest drag and drive around. It was, I guess, technically the third drag and drive event created. You have Drag Week, you have Rocky Mountain that started in 15, and then this one's been around for 8 years. So I don't know, 14 or 15, something like that. So somewhere around
Yeah.
there. Congratulations to them. It may be the second oldest, actually thinking about it there. And then
And I think they only allow like 50 cars, I think, in that event.
Yep.
So and
Yep.
a lot of them are
They've
just
opened it up this year. I think there's 75 or 80 for this year because they had so much draw and the drag and drive stuff is going so well. Nathan and I were messaging the other day, you were texting, and he said they only had 3 spots available in Outlaw 8th Mile. So
wow.
yeah, that's awesome for them. I mean,
Yeah.
it's so cool to see one event succeed, and then two, like an event that's been going on that long, just keep growing and grow at a pace that they want, not go to that next level, each year. So, and then we've got Tucson, Arizona for King of the Open Road the same weekend as One Guy's Garage Drag Weekend. So 30 days for that as well. 30 days for King of the Open Road, Arizona. I really wish I could do this. If Destroyer 1320 watches this later, dude, let us know if you could maybe hit this one day. It's a Friday, Saturday, Sunday event. Obviously, they're doing the 200-mile drive on Friday, and then it's 2 full days of qualifying and racing. They do an elimination style setup. So we won't have data on this because it's not in the drag and drive format that we track, but it still is what we would consider a drag and drive in the sense that you are driving your race car and drag racing. So we'll get through that. So that's pretty exciting. That's the next 3 events that are upcoming, and then obviously we're going to dig in deep on Saturday for the news this week and talk about events. You know, classes and all that kind of stuff. We do a whole segment on the event updates and who we've heard from, who we know is going, and all that kind of stuff. So it's always a good one. The next bit here, I'm going to ask that you run. Maybe we'll flip back and forth who's running the slides on that. Guys in the chat, let us know if you like this new slide format. I think it looks a lot better than the old way with the pictures on basically a screen share. So what we've got up next, again, 25 days until Hot Rod Drag Week. These are going to be these next, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 events are ones that we are attending before the end of the year. And our last one on this list is in December. So that's 7 events in the next 3.5 months.
Yep.
Yeah. So we're going to be busy, folks. I'm going to be really, really busy. And then we're going to just keep sending you to events to get pictures, and we're maybe 2024 you'll be spending as much time on the road as I am. That's the goal. Tell your wife now. Hopefully she likes to travel, she can go with you. That'll be fun. So Hot Rod Drag Week, guys, obviously my intention is to be there on the 16th. I'm going to leave here on the 15th, again 14 hours, just too far in one day really for me, and to have any kind of, I don't know. I want to have some energy once I get there. Spending that much time in a car in a single day is pretty tough. So I'm leaving here, going to be there on the 16th, and then we're going to have some fun. Now, after Drag Week, I didn't put this in the slides, but after Drag Week is the race in the NHRA race in Charlotte. So I'm going to go up to that with all of the 850 drag and drive racers. So that should be pretty cool for like an exhibition type deal for them. So it's, again, we talk about the NHRA promoting drag and drive racers, and of course the 850 class is my favorite. And I know several of those folks like Brian Acton. I've asked if Dustin and Steve Trance are going to be up there. I know Steve Brack is going to go race in that event. And there's some other racers that have definitely been invited, but I haven't had the confirmation to see if they're going or not yet. But that should be pretty fun. So anyways, 25 days from now, and then back to the streets, obviously September 29th through October 1st. Hang on. That's not right. We're missing one. Sorry, we got to go back here. You're going to One Guy's Garage Drag Weekend.
Yep, that's going to be coming through my hometown track. So at a minimum, I'm going to hit Byron Dragway and go check out some racing, see who's there, see what cars are there, get some videos, get some pictures, and just get a chance to hang out with all those guys.
Yeah, it should be pretty awesome. Again, that's going to be a fun event. So I'll be at Drag Week, and then at Charlotte, and then you're going to be at One Guy's Garage the same weekend that I'm in Charlotte. So that ought to be pretty wild for us. Again, just like this past weekend, which we're going to talk about in a minute, that we were both at events. So
yeah,
it'll be pretty fun. Again, we talked about that. 25 days. Then back to the streets. I'll be attending September 29th through October 1st. Milan Dragway, Tulip Pier, back to Milan, weekend event. This thing is going to be nuts, dude. No prep, heads up, 300 miles worth of driving, small tire, big tire, stick shift class, all kinds of stuff. And it's literally no prep. So you're not going to there's no testing. There's pull your stuff off the trailer, go out, draw cards or poker chips or something, draw for your race, for your class, race. Whoever wins moves on, and the loser still moves on. They'll race losers, though. Winners will race winners the whole time. So this ought to be pretty nuts. I'm going to talk to Matt and see if he can come on for next week and give a little more detail about this event. So again, that's when I'm going to be at. And then I'll fly from Detroit, where that one is, out to Race Week to go to Bandamere for day 2 of Bandamere of Race Week, which I'm really, really excited about. I'm really, with them closing, you got to be able to attend at least one race while you're out there, right? You know what I mean? Like, so I'll fly there. I'll jump in the car with Steven, or somebody. Will literally ride with somebody that week. So I'm gonna pack as light as I possibly can. Like, I may not even have a tripod with me. I may have a backpack and a camera bag, and see if I can catch rides. I'll be thumbing rides throughout the week.
So
So
just looking at the dates here, you're going to be at Drag Week 17th through 22nd.
yeah.
And then you're going to be home for 5 days, and then you're going to go back to the
Yeah.
streets.
Well, no, it'll be less than that. So I won't get back home until like the 24th,
Yeah.
and then I'll fly to Detroit on the 28th. So really, like 3.5 days.
Yeah. And then
Yeah.
you'll be gone from then until the end of race week.
Yeah, which
That's going to
is the
be
6th, but that's in Pueblo, and you're coming off of being gone that long. And Pueblo's 14 hours from here, so you end up. That's probably. I mean, Steven and I may be able to hammer it out in one day. I don't know. So it'll depend on how we feel that night. We may drive some after the award ceremony to start headed back, or we may just, I don't know, stay there and get up the next morning and just hammer all the way. So yeah, so I'm
gonna
gone
be
for
busy.
a solid 10 days. Then I'm back home for a couple weeks, which will be my time to really work through the Dragon Drive World Champion updates, work through all of the point structures and things like that, plus all of the all of the list changes and things that come along with that. And then I go from race week, I'm home, and this is the reason I'm not attending Death Week, sadly. I'm sad I'm not going to be attending Death Week, but at the same time, I'm really excited for this event. So, Ferris, Texas is the series finale for the Midwest Summit Racing Midwest Drag Racing Series, which I went to this last weekend, which we'll talk about in a minute. But um, this this family welcomed me with open arms, y'all. This was a great, and I'm going to talk about it in a little bit, but it was really amazing to be part of this. So I'm going to go to their final race of the season in Ferris, Texas, which is around Dallas, for the 20th and 21st, which is going to be kind of exciting. I'm ready to get back into that. It's really a weird time, or a weird event to attend compared to Dragon Drive racing, because like I started talking to racers. I got up the next morning, got my bags packed, and threw them in my car, and was like, I didn't have to do that. We're gonna be at the same hotel for 2 nights.
Right.
So it was pretty strange there. And then from there, I'm home for a couple weeks, and then Southeast Street and Eat. I just texted Evan a little bit ago to let him know I am going to be attending this. So I'm going to submit my media credentials tonight and see if I can get media passes. If not, I'm coming anyways, and I'll just record from somewhere other than where the media is allowed, because this event's going to be a lot of fun. November 9th through 12th. Again, back to in the same area of the country as Drag Week. I don't know if I'm going to drive to this one or if I'm going to fly. I don't know yet. So we'll see. But then, so yeah, I'm busy, right? And then we got this, dude. This this one this one is the bee's knees right here, because Southeast Street and Yeet is going to end the national event season, unless somebody throws one together between now and then. That will seal up the race for the Dragon Drive World Champion.
Yes,
Then
it will. And that's only like less
3
than a
weeks,
month. Yeah.
yeah, 3 weeks before we go to our the first ever Dragon Drive award show at PRI, or really the only Dragon Drive award show ever, except at the end of events. So I'm excited. This will be the first time we're awarding the Dragon Drive World Champion, which is going to be kind of neat. And we're going to be doing a big show. Again, we've talked to Cold Hard Art. They're building the trophy, which is going to be so cool. I'm not even going to show you uh, pictures of it until I have it in my hand, which may only be a few days ahead of PRI. And then I've talked to Revved Up Laser Services, and we are ordering trophies this week for the remainder of all of the classes that are, I don't know, awards that we're going to give out, which is like the top racer in on each list that we run is going to get a plaque or a trophy. And then all of the other fun stuff, like Sweet Patina is sponsoring the toughest roadside repair. So as we get closer, we'll begin to ask, for people to submit their stories and nominate people for those kind of things. And we'll go through those and pick that out. So yeah, we've got a busy few weeks here, busy few months. This is about 3.5 months worth of stuff. And we've got 7 or 8 events coming up. And that's not even something that's going to pop up between now and then. So I'm excited about what is coming. I'm excited about what our followers and our supporters have allowed us to do this year. We've had huge growth. So to say thank you, let's listen to the Molly ad real quick.
Molly Motorsports is the official piston of DragonDrive.com. Molly's Power Pack piston is the perfect candidate for your drag and drive car. Molly Motorsports competes in drag and drive events and supports our community. Project manager Eric Grillo raced a 10-second stick shift Nova at Hot Rod Drag Week 2022. He's also competed in Rocky Mountain Race Week last year with his C10 truck. Visit mollymotorsports.com for the most recent line of products.
Awesome. So I do want to go back to this comment here. This is Jason Hurley, and he's talking about using the picture with the stock 454 in it. There's 2 things about this picture here. This is from Race Week, or from Rocky Mountain. I went up to the final day for Rocky Mountain Race Week in Kearney, Nebraska. You can see that it has a stock 454 in it. Usually this has a twin turbo, big block, nasty setup. But then there's also somebody sleeping in the passenger seat. The co-pilot's asleep in the passenger seat because they literally swapped engines in this car in the parking lot. They had to buy this engine, put it in, get everything working. Those exhausts are literally just flipped manifolds and straight to the ground. So a stock 454 with, I can't even imagine what size converters in that thing. So pretty awesome. I know Jason is frantically wrenching to get this car ready for race week. And just so you guys know, he has been the overall winner of the last 2 Rocky Mountain events. And I know he's coming for a third. Plus he is now an R&D guy or they're using Molly Motorsports pistons in his car for R&D. So anytime that one of our race car friends and one of our sponsors, also called Race Car Friends, it's always a good thing. It's always a good combination because guys, Molly races, just like the ad you saw, Molly races cars, and now to be involved in the fastest car in Rocky Mountain and Race Week events for the last 2 and top 5 for several before that. It's a big deal. It's a big deal. So I want to say thanks to Molly, and I want to say congratulations to Jason. And he said just got the engine in last night, so I know what that means. It's going to be. He's going to go fast, dude. It is so on, and especially going to to be able to spend probably one of the final events at Bandamere. That's why I'm going. Plus, I get to see all of my friends. So, all right. Next up. Oh, sorry, went too far. Next up, website updates. Get through all those. I have updated the National 235 8th mile event list, or 8th mile racer list. So obviously number 1 racer, sick week, just Jordan Tuck, Devin Vanderhoof in the car that went and just decimated everything. It was awesome to watch it go down. Number 1 spot right now, 4.644, fastest 235 8th mile times we've ever seen. Again, these are the averages, not their outright number 1, like their fastest pass or whatever. Number 2 is Sheldon Root and Kevin Foy, his passenger. And again, this is sick week in February, 481 for his time, 235 8th mile. These are obviously not 235s on the picture I used here. And then 3rd place, I want to say congratulations to Matt and Marissa Moore, Rocky Mountain Race Week, Rowdy Radio, fastest ET ever in that class, and the first racer into the 4s on a Rocky Mountain event. So that's pretty awesome. I think you ran a 480 something on one of the days. It really, really cool. So top 3 there. Congratulations to all of those. And then I'm working on a lot more lists before Drag Week, but if you follow along closely, you'll see that there's times where I'll post something and then pull it back down. Guys, there is so much data that I'm working through that you almost have to go line by line and check everything to make sure it's all correct. And then I still mess something up. Aaron Schaefer pointed out something the other day on one of his points that was not showing up because that list had not been updated within my system. It was updated on my sheet, but not on the website. So if you have questions about where you stand, what your points are, things like that, holler at me. Just send me a message. So congratulations to them. Again, I'm working through several more lists. I want to get all of the 10, 11, 12 second lists out. And now that we are in the 8s for the top 100, I want to go ahead and get the 9-second list put together as well. And a change for 2023 compared to 2022. If you populate the 10-0 list, let's say, you cannot have turned in a time faster than 10-0. So I'm treating those lists like they are index races, again, for the national events, simply because we want a racer that is racing to get as close to 10-0 as possible, not someone that has an 8-second car that turned in a 12-second time slip one day and just happened to end up at like a 10:04 or something like that, which is what I mean. It wasn't in the 10s for 2022's list, but that is what happened then. So, all right, sorry, a lot of data there. Dude, let's get into the fun stuff because you attended an event this last week. Do you want me to run the clicker while you talk, or how do you want to do this?
I think I can do it.
Perfect. Have at it, man. Tell everybody where you went. Tell everybody what all went down.
Yep. So last Wednesday, I left here, Illinois, drove to Indiana, drove straight to Bunker Hill. So day 0 was the pre-party. So I got to watch Ike and Rory and the Rhythm Riders perform on the summit stage there. So that was really cool to get to hang out with those guys. And there was already a bunch of racers that showed up on day 0. Then day 1, we were at Bunker Hill. We raced at Bunker Hill day 1. And then our first route stop was at RPM Transmissions. So I got this photo out of the Drag and Drive Addiction group from Derek Adams. I did not stop at the route stops. Went from track to track and was working on editing all the photos that did get posted. So RPM Transmission was route stop number 1. Then day 2 was at Muncie Dragway. And then we raced at Muncie. And then once we left Muncie, then we went to route stop number 2, which was at the Modern Muscle Car Factory. It was actually not at their facility because the road was getting tore up. So it was a few blocks away, but it sounds like everything went decent. I see they had a banner hung up between the trees. So I got this photo from Brandon McElroy. So
Yeah. Hey, want to say hi to him. He attended the circuit and I think intends to attend in 2024 as well.
yep, I remember seeing him there as well.
Mm-hmm.
So then after route stop 2, we drove back to day 3 and we finished out at Bunker Hill drag strip, which is Indiana's oldest drag strip. So that was really cool. And this man right here in the photo was Terry McMillan. So this was actually a complete accident taking this photo. I was getting a photo of Old Glory there, and he just happened to walk over in front of me and was letting him know, start his burnout. And the photo just turned out awesome. So I was
Oh
really
yeah.
excited about that photo. It came out really cool.
Well, anytime the owner of the track is out there, and I mean Terry McMillan's a top fuel racer, that's
Yep.
pretty awesome.
Yep. So that was a really cool photo. So we're going to move on and we're going to cover the class winners from the event. So first up in the 650 class, we had Blake, and I apologize if I screw up anybody's name. We have Blake Mushin, which ran a 6.560 was his average.
Nice.
So that was the winner of the 650 class.
What a great color on that car too.
Yeah. And these
For
are all
everybody that's listening this to the podcast, it's like the copper colored Hellcat Charger.
Yep. And these are all photos that I had taken at the event. These are all photos that you can see on Nostalgia Night's Facebook page. And then in the 750 class, we had Trevor Adams, who finished with a 7.518. And
He's
then,
on the money.
yep, and that was a really cool car as well. And then the 850 class, this was really cool. Glenn Steiner, I want to say he told me he was 82 years old in this
Yes.
64 Galaxy. And I tell you what, I watched him make pass after pass. The dude was just smiling ear to ear, and he was having so much fun.
That's cool. And
So he
what a
finished
cool
with an
car.
1964 Galaxy. It was, I believe, a former state patrol car even as well.
That's awesome. For the folks again, listen, this is a black car with a gold roof, center light, what are those drag lights
Yep.
on it? Super cool setup.
Yep. So again, 850 class was Glenn Steiner with an 8.544. Then we get into the big block NA class, and this was the winner of that was Jeff Lingenfelter with a 6.967. So that was a very cool car too. Actually, most of the cars that showed up
Yeah.
were pretty cool. So that was big block NA was Jeff. Then we have big block power adder, which was Chris Bice. He finished with a 6.286. That's another very nice car. And then next class was Hot Rod and Gasser. This was Troy Martin and Old Glory, and he finished with a 6.023.
Nice. That's got to be one of the fastest cars there, right?
We'll cover the fastest passes that I
Gotcha.
saw
Okay.
there, but yeah, it was up there. Then we had the manual shift H pattern that was won by John Milner with a 6.997.
That's
That
awesome.
thing, I don't know. Have you seen this in person?
Yeah. So this car is super cool. It's a throwback to the American Graffiti car of Milner, and he was at, I want to say he was at Midwest Drags last year, but had some steering issues with it. So looks like he's got it all back together.
Yeah, it was very violent. If you've ever watched this thing make passes, again, manual shift car, pulls the front wheels. I think the first pass it pulled the front wheels up, and I got a pretty cool photo of that in that album as well.
That's cool.
And then next class we had small block NA, which was James Duncan, and he finished with a 6.868. So talked to him for a little bit. That was another cool car. Again, I mean, captured it getting the wheels off the ground there.
Yeah.
And then our last class was small block power adder, and I seen Jeremy in the comments here earlier, but Jeremy Ortiz with the 240SX finished with a 5.921.
So that's the fastest of the weekend then, right?
That was the fastest average all week.
Yep.
The only average that finished in the fives.
Wow, that's awesome. Way to go, Jeremy.
Yep. So congratulations to all of those guys on their class victories. We were talking about fastest passes. Now I only went on the passes that were turned in. So if there was other faster passes, I didn't catch those. But the fastest passes went to Jeremy. He ran a 5.709.
That's awesome.
And I believe that was day 2 at Muncie when he ran that.
Cool.
And then the second quickest was Chris Bice, who ran a 5.757. That was, I believe, day 3 at Bunker Hill because he was having some issues with the nitrous not working. And I think he made 2 back-to-back 5.7 passes, like right at the end of the event.
Wow. And Nostalgia Nights is like Midwest Race. You got to turn in 2 slips each day, right?
Yep, 2 slips, 8th mile, 2 slips.
That's cool.
Yep, and then the third fastest was Troy Martin with a 5.914.
That's cool.
And
Man,
again,
that Old Glory car is So awesome.
Yeah, it's wild. Again, you can see the wheels up there and
Yeah.
just such a cool car. So all three of those were all 5-second passes. So those were the top three passes that I had seen getting turned in.
Sweet.
And then the last thing that we'll talk about on Nostalgia Nights was the tightest class. So the tightest class was the 750 class. So first was Trevor Adams, that 7.518. Then second was Chris Gosh with 7.525. Then James Dressler with a 7.535. Kanan Hall with a 7.574. Josh Halsey with a 7.582. And then Dan Chandler has got an asterisk there. He ended up having to drop out on the last day, but he was at a 7.536. So you
Wow.
can see there's 2, 4, 6 guys there in the 750 class that all had 7.5s.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. And I'll tell you what else is kind of cool. That shirt you're wearing there, that hoodie.
Yeah,
Just so folks know, you can own one just like that if you go to summitracing.com and type in drag it dash in dash drive on your search engine there, search bar.
yep. Yeah, I
Yep.
had a few photos taken like that. I thought they were one cool photos, and two I
Hmm.
thought they showcased the hoodie real good. But this
Yeah.
was day 3, first thing in the morning. Again, we didn't run until 3:30, so had plenty of time just to get up and
Yeah.
enjoy the morning and walk the track. And thought, let's grab a couple cool photos while the track's empty.
Yeah. And then I see Lee Brooks here. Nostalgia Nights was a great event. Hope they are able to do it again next year. I mean, I would think after that event, they would be starting to plan for 2024 as well. Sounds like everybody had a good time. And then somebody says here, I want freaking hoodie weather. I'm telling you, it's like it's 80 something in the podcast room, luckily, because I have a little air conditioner, but outside it's about 110, I think, right now. So
Yeah,
it's a little too warm.
I think I sent you a screenshot when I was leaving work today, and it was the temperature felt like 116 here where I
Ugh,
am.
gross.
And I think tomorrow is going to be even warmer. But then after that, it starts to kind of go back to somewhat normal again.
Yeah. That's awesome. All right. Well, let's move on to the next bit of info here for the Drag and Drive show, episode 27. Dude, I can't believe we're already flying through this stuff.
Yeah, pretty wild.
Yeah. Well, definitely we got to thank our first ever sponsor. I want to say thank you to Sweet Patina. And guys, I can't push it enough, but without them, we wouldn't have the Built for Drag and Drive segment. So I want to say thank you to them because really Blake and the team over there helped come up with that entire process. And I love the Built for Drag and Drive. These are cars and racers that literally build a car for drag and drive events and the drag and drive style of living. And they've provided you guys with a discount code that we haven't really talked about much. It's been around all year, but you're going to see more of it as we go from here on out, because I would love for you guys to use it. I know folks are ordering stuff from them, but this will get you an extra 10% off throughout all of your orders on sweetpatina.com. Guys, they've got detailed products, apparel, garage art, more things that you need in your garage and on your car. And it doesn't matter. You can have a shiny car. They got plenty of stuff for that too. A lot of the stuff that they have, I use. One of my favorite items, obviously, is the TKO hand cleaning wipes, which I'm going to have 2 tubs with me at Drag Week. So that ought to help a bunch. I'll be walking around handing out those to racers to help with I don't know, they're waterless wipes. So you can, as you're pulling your car off, pulling your tire off, wipe your hands down and then wipe the tools down that you are using for that. So again, you can order those right straight from sweetpatina.com and use the DND57 code for 10% off at checkout. Or you can find their stuff on summitracing.com, which is a huge partnership for them. I love that 2 of our friends are getting together and you can throw that right into your um, uh, cart when you go to leave the Summit Racing and give them your money, because I know you're going to be doing that because we got events coming up. Hopefully people are ordering parts. And when you think about ordering parts, be like our buddy Jonathan Stonecipher and order them from Summit Racing. All right, guys, my found on Summit Racing this week I feel like are 2 pretty good deals. One is this converter right here, $499. We always talk about cheap converters, guys. It's a 30 spline setup. It is a for Turbo 350 and Turbo 400s, 4,000 stalls is perfect for you guys that are wanting to drive 10-inch, 30 spline, ready to go. $499 in stock, ready to be in your car. Please go make that happen. And then the K-Source universal motorcycle horns. I know everybody is tired of hearing me talk about horns, but listen, when you ask Keith Turk or Matt Frost or Adam Dory or any other event promoter, hey man, what's the one thing people forget? It's a horn. 90% of the time they say, oh, a horn for sure. Dude, this is so easy. $4. Put that in your next order. Probably no shipping. Looks like, I mean, it'll ship tomorrow. Probably it would get to me the next day. So I could have that by Friday if I needed it, if I ordered it right now. So, guys,
You know who needs horns for their vehicle?
you,
This guy does not
I'm
have
telling
horns
you,
on the Mustang, so
yeah, when you order the Drag and Drive Addiction shirt, go in there and order you a horn, man. You
I'm
gotta have
probably
it.
going to do that.
Yep. So, all right, that is my found on Summit Racing for this week. Guys, I want to say thanks again to Summit for taking care of us and being an awesome partner for us. Cool, man. I do love me some Summit Racing. I spend more time on there than I probably should, but that's the way it works. I try not to look at Facebook Marketplace because I don't need a new project car. I try and figure out what parts I need to buy to finish the two I have in the shop. So you were on an event this weekend. Well, guess what I was doing? I was
You
on an
were
event as
also
well.
at an event, yep.
Oh man. And it was a completely different event than what we are used to seeing because you can see we've seen pro mods on drag and drive events, but they're not normally out there. So I attended the Summit Racing Midwest Drag Race Series, which do you know how hard it was to not say Midwest Drags all the
I
time?
could imagine it
Midwest
was very
Drag
difficult.
Race. Yeah. So I want to give a huge shout out to Daniel Green, Danny Diesel, for giving me the opportunity to go down and help. Okay. He was like, "Hey, I've got this opportunity for you to come to St. Louis, help us set up with a live stream." And guys, obviously, anytime we start looking at live stream stuff, I'm trying to figure out how we can go to that next level with our own event, the circuit in April. So, of course, anytime I can be around that, the event was streamed live to Flow Racing and will be out on the Midwest Drag Race Series YouTube channel later this week, maybe early next week, with an edited down kind of version. So I want to also say thank you to Luke Clevenger for the chance to hold that microphone next to him while he did some announcing and then also be on the microphone by myself for a little while. I mean, dude, they had just met me and they're like, "You want to talk through this microphone to all these people out here and on Flow Racing?" And I was like, "Yep, I'll do it." So it was pretty crazy. In this picture here, I don't know if you guys follow Pro Mod Racing very much. I don't. I'm a drag and drive racer to the core. But Keith Haney was down there. Blake Housley, who is the one of the new owners of Flying H Drag Strip, which is exciting. Mark Mickey was there, which was cool. I'll go into kind of a little bit about him here in a minute. And then Stephen Whiteley. Those are the four racers on this picture here. Mark Mickey showed up and showed out, dude. Like it was insane. I've fastest pass of the weekend, fastest pass of the series for the year. Uh, they were making up a race from July, so he wins all of that, right? So they have one round of testing, and then they went right into eliminations. Boom, 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 knocked all that stuff out. Took about 2/3 of Friday to get that event knocked out. He wins that, goes on, obviously does great, runs a 361, which again maybe the fastest pass of the series ever. I don't know. We've got Ellen looking at that. She is the other half of this. Well, she's probably not half. She's probably three-quarters of this event. I don't know how she keeps all this stuff together, but she does, and it was awesome hanging out with her. So, anyways, he runs that 361, comes out. Him and Stephen Whiteley made the final pass of Pro Mod, and about 450 feet out, Mark Mickey's car let go So sadly, it was pretty sad to see that thing make that run. But this is oh no, that's Rod Schaefer. Sorry. Um, again, Mark Mickey's in this teal colored Mustang up here. 69 Camaros are pretty popular in pro mod racing, I guess. A
Yeah.
lot of racers said that they just liked that. That was their favorite body style. So Whiteley went on to win the August event and also moved him into the points leader setup. So that was kind of cool. But again, about 450 feet out, you just see this huge cloud of smoke, and we got a little nervous. Top alcohol, I got to stand between two top alcohol cars, which run about the same as these the Pro Mods, the same speeds, but it's a completely different experience. Like, these are like top fuel looking cars. I mean, they're loud. I don't know. It was intense. It was really intense to be down there on the starting line. I want to say thank you to Cindy Wayne for coming up and making me go down there. I was in the tower, and she was like, "You've got to come down here in between these." And then Rod Schaefer wins top sportsman. The reason I'm showing his car is because he has a matching 68 Camaro that he's had since 1989 that he also raced in like a 6.0 bracket class that they had. It was, man, badass looking. Hit those two cars in the same pit. It was really, really cool. But he's getting ready for $1 million bracket race. So this was like a whole new level of people that I was getting to meet. It was like people that obviously I do drag and drive events, so I'm used to seeing cars with license plates and things like that, and carrying trailers, and I pull in and there's all these toter homes and trailers and people camping and all that kind of stuff all weekend, which was really cool. But it was obviously something that was completely different. Want to say congratulations to the Reed family. This is Juliet Reed who won her class, y'all. Mike Reed, the dad there on the far right, sold his racing motorcycle whole setup so both of his daughters could race juniors, which is
That's
pretty
awesome.
cool. So write down the name Juliet Reed and Jackson Reed, because you're going to be seeing those again in the future. I'm telling you, those kids were cutting lights. They were winning rounds. It was pretty cool to watch all of that go down. So, and somebody came up to me, and of course I've never announced ever really, except for the time me and you did it in the tower there at Atco. And then so when the juniors came up, it was all new to me, so it was all new learning and stuff, and so I was really excited. And somebody came up and was like, "Hey, thank you for calling the juniors the way you did." I'm like, "Are you kidding me? Those kids are like, they're on the money. They are probably the most competitive racers that I think may have been out there, dude. It was awesome to watch it and see all of the racers that were there. Um, Again, their next event is October 20th through 21st in Ferris, Texas, and that's where I'll be with them
That,
down
that's
there.
not their next event, right? That's their last event.
Sorry, that's their last event. Their next event is September 8th and 9th in Martin, Michigan. I apologize. Um, but what really gave me the opportunity to announce was Luke he had not been through the pits to talk to the Nostalgia Drag Racing League, which is the NDRL, which if you like anything that's 1979 and older, definitely go find that thing. Look at these cars. They were really cool, big wheelies, all this kind of stuff. But being 1979 and older, front engine dragsters, which is really cool. Guy named Webb. I don't remember his first name. JB Webb, maybe. I don't know. Webb was his last name. Dude, it's like 2.5 foot wheelie in a front engine dragster. It was pretty cool to watch these guys go. But Luke was like, "Hey, do you want to call these?" Because I had talked to a bunch of these racers that had license plates on the back of their cars. And he was like, if you want to call these, I need to go get me something to eat. Well, that turned into like me being up there for like 2 hours, calling the entire race for Nostalgia Drag Racing League. So I appreciate him giving me that opportunity again. That was really cool to be able to call that. This car here, one of my first cars I went and talked to. This is Bill Hamilton's 79 Fox Body. You want to hear something kind of nice? It was the only Fox body on the property, dude. There were no other Fox bodies on the property. It's a 351 based or 351 Windsor setup in it, C4 trans. Goes 1050s, dialed it back to 11.0 so he could have a consistent pass. But the reason he bought this car was because of Robert George, which you guys will know from Sick Week and Drag Week history. He races a white Chevelle that I didn't put it in here. He races a white Chevelle with purple stripes and pulls it with his 7D C10 truck. So folks that have been around a little bit will know those two combinations. He's now put a blower on the truck, so he's probably going to race it at some event this year. But I thought that was really cool that Bill bought this Fox body with the intentions of driving it. In the 18 months he's owned it, he's driven about 1,000 miles in it, which he said he's getting all the bugs worked out. And then he intends to maybe do drag week or sick week with Robert. So I thought that was kind of cool. Really neat car. And it was really weird to only see one Fox body. And then Wheels in the Air Photography, I stole this picture from them. They have great stuff. It's obviously doing a wheelie, but this is, I'm going to call him my new friend. This is the freaking famous Bob Klink 65 Corvette. Y'all, this car has been raced since 1978 as a race car, hasn't been on the street at all. So I got scolded because obviously this nostalgia drag racing league starts looking like, like these cars are stickered up, and I'm used to seeing cars, if they're stickered up, they're like, it's decoration almost, right? Well, this car had decals all over it. All these decals were events that it had attended and raced in. And some of these went back to like 1982. I mean, like sun faded, where you could see where it was used to be larger. Now it's smaller from the heat and stuff. Really, really a cool car, and left wheels up every single time that they went down. It was really, really cool. But I got scolded by his wife when I went over to purchase a lunchbox. They had like 10 TIN lunchboxes over there that were all decorated up. And of course, it's on the table inside the house that I bought for my daughter. So I had to have one of those. But Bob's wife, her name is Pam, also known as the NDRL Trailer Queen Pam. Dude, if you have a name like that, you got it's just awesome. So she was really nice. She gave me really kind of the ropes of what the event style is and what they do. And then later on ended up meeting the guy that runs the point series and the entire NDRL. His name is Butch. And he came up to the tower. We talked for about 15 or 20 minutes while we were down for a second. And he basically laid out everything. And a lot of these cars, they still have license plates on them. They still drive on the street, but most of them are race cars, and these guys have owned for a very, very long time. So they don't do a lot of driving on the street because they don't want to tear them up. So anyways, that was pretty cool to be around that. And the last little bit, again, I want to talk about the junior dragsters. They had an Outlaw 330 class, which I thought was really cool. They can only race to 330 feet because there's no rule in NHRA racing about how fast you can go in the 330. And these cars, these dragsters, would go too fast in the 8th based on these kids' age. Like you can only go to a 790 in the 8th if you're, in like a pro junior setup. So some of these cars were doing like 45 miles an hour in the 8s, which is really pretty, or in the 330, which is really pretty fast. So I thought that was pretty cool to watch. And I heard someone say these are like billet blocks, dude.
Really?
Billet blocks of the junior dragster, $25,000 for an engine.
Wow.
Yeah. So Outlaw 330, pretty cool setup. And a lot of older kids are in that because they're moving to that next stage in their racing career before they move into what everybody was calling big cars. I don't know if that's like the term, but big cars, real cars, I don't know. So I thought that was pretty cool. Again, I'll be at Ferris, Texas, October 20th and 21st. They had jet cars, which if you are watching us on YouTube and Instagram, you've seen those jet car things. They were literally shaking the entire building. It was insane. Larson International brought out 2 jet cars. I had any shaking that you see in the videos is because my camera was attached to the glass. So it's just like, whoa. It was, oh man, it was so badass. But they'll be at Martin, Michigan, September 8th and 9th as well. So go ahead.
Did you convince anybody there to do a drag and drive, or how much did you promote drag and drive stuff while you were there? Or
anybody that would talk to me heard about drag and drive. And so that was kind of my lead in. I wanted to know about the car they were racing because, again, this is really my first time to be like to announce, because after I did the first round for NDRL, Luke was like, well, you can just announce those the rest of the time. And so I was like, okay, no problem. So then when I got up Saturday morning, of course, I went around everywhere talking to everybody, finding out stories and all that kind of stuff, trying to get some background instead of just calling the race,
Yeah.
And so if it had a license plate on it, I talked to them, and come to find out, a lot of them were vintage license plates. Weren't registered, but they were vintage, anyways. Um, and so it looked really cool. And so there was a lot of really nice people there, and a lot of folks that have like the top sportsman cars. Again, you go back to like Rod Schaefer had that other '68 Camaro that could be a street car. I mean, it had to add some weight, and then Mark Mickey has a matching color 71 Chevelle at home that he's had since high school. So that's a car that he intends to take on the drag and drive. For folks that have seen, there's a 37 Chevrolet that had an inline, like a 292, old stove bolt Chevrolet truck engine in it, like the inline six with two Holly carbs on it and an 88 millimeter blow through turbo setup. Dude, that car was gnarly,
Yeah.
gnarly. It runs mid eights consistently. So they went from a completely concrete filled block to now only a half filled block to run a drag and drive event. Their plan is maybe Drag Week 2024 with that car.
Very
So
cool.
sounds pretty cool, and that's been a video again I've posted on Instagram and YouTube. So one last thing I do want to say is being around that team and the race series a lot all of those were just like drag and drive people, right? I mean, drag racers are a big family anyways, but a lot of those folks, they took me in. Of course, I'm carrying a notepad to introduce myself as an announcer, and that helps. But they answered a lot of questions that I probably sounded like an idiot asking, but they were really open to answering that. And then it also helped. I feel like it'll help with our 2024 Drag and Drive World Champion point series. Like one example is the Summer Racing Midwest Drag Race Series provides additional points for attending all 7 events. Like you don't get the extra, like you get all the points that you would accumulate for all those events. We're not going to do that, but we may allow for additional points to count. Like maybe you get an extra 5 or 10 points for attending for like your 4th event's worth 10 points, your 5th event's worth 10 points, things like that, because these guys that are attending more and more events, obviously you need to get a little bit more pat on the back. So anyways, that was my experience, and I cannot wait to get back down there. I can't wait to see that team again in October. So
Yeah.
if you want to see them October 8th and 9th at Martin, Michigan.
Sounds like a good time for sure.
Dude, it was awesome.
I
It
mean,
was awesome.
we together had a fantastic weekend. I mean, we were both at events and
It
we
was
we
nuts.
got plenty of coverage. So
Yeah. Yeah.
it
We
was a
have a
good
ton of
weekend.
content coming. I'm trying to not post 5 videos a day. So been trying to work on other stuff instead of posting 5. I've been posting 2 or 3 for sure on Instagram's probably the place I post the absolute most. And then YouTube is second. So anyways, let's move on, dude. What do we got next?
We have our Found on Racing Junk segment.
Awesome. That's always
So
one of my favorites.
So first up here, we've got a titled 66 Nova for 60,000. So this one caught my attention. Good looking car, and obviously it said that it was titled, which means it can be driven
You
on the
put
street.
yeah, you put a license plate on that dude.
Yep. So
Oh,
scroll
is that
through
a
the,
LS in it?
I believe so.
It's like a carbureted LS, maybe.
So scrolling through the pictures here, and then I'll go down and read a little bit about the description. It looks like a lot of nice parts on there.
Yeah, nitrous setup, sweet.
Yeah, Holly.
Yeah,
So
it's a nice car, and again, I love that body style.
I
North
do
Carolina
too.
car.
Yep, 66 Nova, titled, tagged, tuned on E85, small tire or big tire, working headlights, taillights, turn signals, all good for drag and drive. Street
Mm-hmm.
car, race car, whatever you want it to be. Professionally built, engines a 370 LSX block, all aftermarket internals, Brodix square port heads, power glide with 169 low gears, so Fab 9-inch rear end, 430 gears. So Again, you can read all about that. It is Holley HP fuel injection. It is
Nice.
nitrous. So pretty cool looking car there.
Yeah, and again, Racing Junk is the official buy sell trade of Drag and Drive Addiction, simply because we don't want to run a Facebook page, and you're going to get way more coverage using Racing Junk classifieds.
Yep. And then our second one here is pretty awesome.
Yes.
1951 Henry J, 30,000.
I would like to
Pretty,
see a stock Henry J, because I guarantee you there are more race car Henry J's than there are stock Henry J's left.
that could be very accurate. They just look so cool like this.
Oh yeah, usually they're up in a big gasser style. This is more of a Pro Street style setup. Looks like
Yeah,
looks like a really nice car.
yeah, it does. So again, scroll through these pictures here.
Is that a small block Ford or big
Uh,
block Chevrolet?
Yep. So 51 Henry J, full tube chassis, 555, big block Chevy, titled and street legal.
Yeah, yeah.
NHRA
Oh,
certified at 850.
nice. Said they'll sell it complete or as a roller. Yeah, so just search 1951 Henry J. That's a nice one, car, silver, for the folks that are listening on the podcast. So these things are so short. It's nice to see one that's not done up in a big gasser style front end.
Yeah. So again, those are our found on Racing Junk finds for this week.
Nice. Nice. Well, one thing we do want to talk about is our Facebook addiction group. And you've been posting some stuff pretty regular here lately that is getting a lot of traction, right? It's like we posted up Wrenching Wednesday. We posted, what was the one before that?
Side Shot Saturday, I think.
That's right. Yeah. And it had a ton of posts. So this one here, you asked for license plates because you finally got your custom license plate in from the state of Illinois. So you asked, hey, what does everybody else have? And show it to us. And so they did in spades. We've got almost 90 folks that sent in custom license plates. Pat Cook says there was a stock one at Race Week. I know
Henry J.
that the Lipinskis have one, but it's not anywhere near stock. But that's cool. That's cool. Yeah, I love the Lipinski's car. Um, I can't remember what they call it though. But all right, well, let's look at the license plates that were provided. And again, you can find it'll be easier for you to find these on the Facebook group, Drag and Drive Addiction Group. Dude, I'm a fan.
Dude, I like these little videos from our Facebook group. I mean,
Yeah.
they're cool. We get a lot of interaction on those posts. And I don't know if you noticed, did you see how many Illinois license plates were in there?
I know, dude. I think it's because you're in Illinois and you're posting, and then Facebook's like, oh, hey, we'll show them some folks that are close.
Maybe,
Maybe
but
Illinois just has a lot cooler cars. I don't know. Oh, Pat Cook says they have two Henry J. That's cool. That's cool. Well, I do love the Lipinskis. They are one of the coolest families in all of Drag and Drive. So let's switch gears just real quick. Want to obviously talk about the new drag strip going in Southern California. Y'all, we're going to talk in a minute about how long this thing is, but I will say this is really good for our sport the whole thought process behind this is street legal dragway, right? So they probably had a very easy spot of land to build this on. I know as you folks that are looking at this realize that that may be a little short, and there's not really a starting line. The whole purpose behind this, I think, is to probably get folks off the streets in air quotes. This is a 330-foot track, and I think it's great for two reasons. One, it's asphalt, which is easy to repair. It's easy to tear up. They can turn it into a road if this doesn't work. I like that it is an attempt to get folks off the streets, which is good for our sport. I know it's fun to watch. There are concrete barriers all the way down this thing. So safety is there. And I'm sure it's much, much cheaper on insurance, which is good, which means it's going to help get long, going to be around longer. I think probably what happened, and again, I don't know. I think probably what happened, somebody had a little bit of land. They thought, I mean, we can't do a full on track here, but we can fit this much distance here. The one thing I want you guys to look at is on the right side of the picture is this huge parking lot, which means if this works, it's probably easy to just finish paving that for a shutdown. So it's actually like 690 or 700 feet of asphalt. So my mind instantly goes to what kind of shutdown could we have? And if this works, could we suddenly turn it into 660 feet and truly be like a street race deal? There were a lot of people giving them shit, oh, cute track. Is this for RCs? Y'all squash all that. This is a big deal. This is another new track that's being built. This is in Southern California, which is what we need. There's a lot of folks out there that do not like hot rods. So get behind this a little bit. Let's talk positively about this. Obviously, 330 feet turns into 660 pretty easy if you have big enough brakes. And that parking lot looks pretty long to me. They said, I think it's another 900 feet of parking lot. So that's not long enough for a fast car to slow down, but a street car could slow down from there pretty easy, and
Right.
so get some of these idiots out of there. But also, now with my new baptism into Outlaw 330 Junior Dragster racing, maybe we can get some more kids into that. Now there's an opportunity for 330 feet of racing, and who gives a crap? It is somewhere that you can race next to someone from point A to point B. So let's be supportive of this. Just put that out there. Get your ass together and let's go support this track. I'm not flying out there to see it, but we'll be out there.
Especially if with all the tracks closing, why wouldn't
Yeah.
anybody want to support, any new track that's being built?
Yeah. Yep, I agree. So you can see here, this is a shot from I think the end forward. Yeah, this isn't into the parking lot. There was another shot on the Drag and Drive Addiction group that showed kind of down into the parking lot, and there's plenty of space there. I mean, if you had what I would call a quick streetcar, you could shut down in time. But this is a big deal for our sport. Anytime we can get an opportunity to add a chance for any politician or someone government official to race side by side, that's what we want, and this is going to mimic the street with asphalt. So all you guys that are real street racers, we know you're going to find concrete and all that kind of stuff, but this is good for everyone else. So guys, that is our show for tonight. Hour and 15 minutes. It's pretty good. I do want to say we have the Drag and Drive show, or Drag and Drive news, starts its new time this weekend. If you'll remember, a couple weeks ago I talked about this because my daughter is a competitive gymnast, and I have to drop her off at 8 a.m. Central Time. So that doesn't work if we're going to be live at 8 a.m. Central Time. So we're moving back to 10 a.m. Eastern. We'll be doing the Drag and Drive news, a 30-minute quick Saturday morning episode. We're going to talk a lot about racing and the events coming up. That's when we do our Dragon Drive, or Built for Dragon Drive, sponsored by Sweet Patina, and our Howard's Cam comedy segment, which is memes and stories found from around the community, which will be, we'll have plenty of stories coming up after Drag Week. And we probably have some from Nostalgia Nights over the weekend. So I want to say thank you for watching tonight, guys. Appreciate it. Again, we'll be back next week, next Wednesday night, live at 8 a.m. Eastern. And we're working on a couple different guests, so it should be a lot of fun then. And Eric, you got anything else?
Nope, I think you pretty much hit it. We will see everybody Saturday morning.
Cool. See you guys.